Today's show is brought to you by State Farm agent Brian McDevitt. Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. State Farm agent Brian McDevitt is ready to help you combine home and auto and save in Chicago and the surrounding suburbs. Call Brian today at 630-796-2662. That's 630-796-2662. Or visit his website, ryanismyagent.com. That's ryanismyagent.com. And make sure to mention Sports Talk Chicago. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Tell me if you've seen this headline before. Quote, 5 reasons the Chicago Bears will trade up for a quarterback in the 2021 NFL Draft. The Bears have made calls about the number 8 pick to Carolina. Are we really going to do this again? Are we really going to go through it again? Has anybody learned their lesson from the first time? I get it. I know. Ryan Pace, Matt Nagy, they're under the gun. I know if they do nothing this year, who knows what's going to happen to them? But this is just another example of what happens when your GM is in limbo and the consequences that you have to pay as an organization when your GM has no stability nor security. I think Ryan Pace is a good guy, and I don't blame him for looking out for his job. But I do blame the team for putting themselves in this situation. Again, we're doing this again. I don't think it's worth trading up in this draft. I get it. Lots of talented quarterbacks, don't get me wrong. Justin Fields, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, although he's probably a lock at 2. The Bears are infatuated with Kellen Mond, who's supposed to be a second-round pick. Do that. If you're going to move up in the second round and take him. Take him at number 20. He'll be there. I don't like the idea of just salvaging more and more and more of the future. To move up again to get Ryan Pace's quarterback, and then to see what we've seen for the past 4 years. Again. See, it'd be different if only Nick Foles was on the roster. The Bears spent money. They went out and spent money and got a quarterback. I'm fine with the rookie, but I'm not fine with moving up and giving up even more for that position alone. The Bears have invested too much time, money, resources into the quarterback position. Nothing's happened. If you move up again and give up more draft capital, you're investing too much in one position that still hasn't produced. It's like when you see a stock going down and you just put more money in the hope that it'll come back up. Little do you know it's about to crash. Same thing. I don't have a problem with being aggressive, with thinking you have a shot, with having the winning attitude. I know there's effort being put in. But I do have a problem with more resources being invested in a position that's already been accounted for. There are 2 veteran quarterbacks on the team. I'm not saying I like them, but I am saying that there's money invested. Resources have been invested in those 2 for the upcoming season. Why would you move up more and give up more for this position? It just continues to bog down the Bears' future. And it makes me wonder, what's the motivation here? It certainly isn't winning. I'd love to say it is, but we all know about the status of Brian Pace. He needs to make a splash, one more year left on his contract, supposedly. The Bears are somehow supposed to win this year. What does that mean? Taking another big swing. And probably missing. No, Russell Wilson is not realistic, I know. Trevor Lawrence, not realistic. Even Zach Wilson, not realistic. When you get past those options, you might as well keep what you have. If it's me, I'm keeping what I have. Why am I putting in more and more to hope for similar results? At this stage, you want to know the worst part too? There are more needs than just the quarterback. What about the wide receiving position? Who's the quarterback going to throw to? A-Rob? Darnell? Who else? No one. Offensive line banged up. The secondary, not good enough. But yet here we are, days before the draft, and we see articles like this, and we see tweets proclaiming the Bears are involved in trade talks again. Bears fans, haven't you seen enough? Don't you know how this will end? It won't be good. I'd love to sit here and be Mr. Optimistic and say they'll get this one right. Do we remember what just happened? The fight about Mitchell Trubisky for 4 years? Who's to say it's going to get better? Who's to say Ryan Pace's guy this time is going to get the job done? Money has been invested in 2 quarterbacks already. Now what? You're going to lose draft capital and take a third? Really? All of this investment into a position that never pays back for the Bears? Because the GM has 1 year left? Just a horrible position to be in. And the people who suffer, as we know, are fans. Because the organization's future is being pawned off left and right. It's being moved all the time. There is no issue with Brian Pace moving more. It's already been insinuated. They're going to do it again. When will this team be good? Won't be for a long time if they're still scrounging around for a first-round pick. Everyone's rejoicing because finally the Bears have a first-round pick at number 20. How long has it been since they've been in this position? And now what? We're going to have to wait 5 more years to see a first-round pick? Who knows? Probably. I'm fine with the Bears drafting a quarterback. Believe me, I am. But I'm not fine with them giving up more resources for a guy who isn't a sure thing. What happened to Kellen Mond in the second round or in the first round at number 20? Why is it necessary to move up? That's all I want to know. You have money in Dalton and Foles. Chances are one of them, if not Dalton, will be the starter, no matter who is drafted. So why waste more? I know why. Ryan Pace is looking out for himself. Fine, I get it. But see, that's why a move should have been made already. Now it's hurting the future of this team. The fact that we have to sit here now and watch the Bears waste more money and more draft capital on another non-sure thing quarterback option. Too much to bear. No pun intended. But it is too much to bear. It's too much to process. I mean, ask yourself a serious question here. When will this team be good again? Vegas right now is saying 7.5 wins. Right around last year, huh? And apparently the solution is, well, we just have to give up more and move up in the draft and everything will be okay. Wrong. It won't be. Not how it works. Unless you're drafting Trevor Lawrence, and even then, I'd be skeptical. Not because of his ability, but because who does he have around him? Decaying offensive line, not many offensive weapons. Whomever comes here is inheriting a very tough situation as a quarterback. Why not use pick 20 to help out Andy Dalton? Draft an O-lineman, wide receiver, whatever it might be. Do something to help the entire offense. Very few quarterbacks can just win with nothing. Russell Wilson's one of them. Andy Dalton and the majority of the others, whether drafted or free agent signed, they need help. A lot of it. And no matter who the quarterback is right now for the Bears, come next year, I don't see much help. I see a lot of holes. I see question marks. I wonder how the hell they're even going to win a game. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I think. And it just stuns me that the solution has to be move up in the draft. That's what I don't get. How is moving up for a quarterback going to solve any of the big problems that you still have? You could bring in a stud. But if you have no wide receivers, if you have O-line issues, how do you think they're going to do as a rookie? How do you think Andy Dalton's going to do, even? These are serious concerns. And I just find it wrong that the solution is moving up and giving away more. You've given up enough. You put in too much money and resources into the quarterback position. Meanwhile, the rest of the team is decaying as we speak. Why is the solution move up again? Give up more draft capital. How long has it been since the Bears have had a true first-round pick? And why is it that I think this one is going to be the only one again for a long time? This needs to be done correctly. The organization needs to be put first, not Ryan Pace's job status. It's frustrating. But as I said to open up this show, that's Bears football. Again, I ask, haven't you seen this before? Quote, 5 reasons the Chicago Bears will trade up for a quarterback in the NFL draft. The Bears are in discussions for the number 8 pick. This was expected. But if it happens, if it's executed, the Bears will make a huge mistake. There are supposed options at number 20 that would be great. Second round, there'd be options there too. Why give up more? Why make yourself worse? Why put yourself in handcuffs? You paid money to two quarterbacks. Unless somehow you're going to go out and trade up for Trevor Lawrence, which is not going to happen, then that's it. There's no need to trade all the way up when whomever you bring in is probably not going to start, number one. And number two, when he does come into the game, he's going to be surrounded by decaying O-line, no offensive weapons, and it's not going to go well. Then what? We're going to say he's a bust, right? See? We've seen this story play out before. We know how it ends. So why do it again? Why repeat the same thing? Look, if they move up, I'm going to be disappointed, but I'll give the quarterback they pick a chance. It's only fair. This is not a vendetta against whom they pick. It's a vendetta against the way in which they picked him. And if he doesn't work, I think by that point, it's time to fire Ryan Pace and move on. That's it. This is his last chance, without question. And if it doesn't work, not only will the Bears be behind as an organization, not only will they have to recoup draft capital over the years and rebuild, but they will need someone else to steer the ship. So I hope everybody realizes how big of a risk this is. They've done it before. It didn't work. And I'm very skeptical of them doing it again. More to come here on Sports Talk Chicago. My exclusive interview with Devin Hester comes up next, so stay tuned. Hey, do you want to make some money this weekend? What if I told you I could offer you $250 free to bet on any game you want? Here's what you have to do. Go to sportstalkchicago.com/cash. sportstalkchicago.com/cash. Must be 21 plus, must be an Illinois resident. You can bet $250 free on any game you want for this upcoming weekend. Cubs and White Sox are going strong. The Bulls are too as the playoff chase finishes up in the NBA. And the Blackhawks are about to finish their season as well. This is, without question, the best time to put down some money and win a whole lot more back. At sportstalkchicago.com/cash. sportstalkchicago.com/cash. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.